Hello everyone and welcome back, and as you can see by the title, I have to part ways with my Mercedes C63 AMG, and this video is just going to be a bit of an update to the channel, what I'm selling, and just a bit of an overview of the car. So due to unforeseen circumstances to my life, I have no choice, but I have to sell the car, which is a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. And that's also hence why there hasn't been much content on the channel for the past, this year for that matter. And if you have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I bought a Volvo S80 V8, which is a fantastic car, but that also had to make way to free up some funds, and this will have to follow too. But let's not be saddened about the sorry state of affairs. In fact, it's a time to rejoice, and it's time to celebrate the fact that I've had the pleasure of owning this car. I've had this car for 3 years and 3 months or 4 months now, and I've covered around 16,000 miles. And if you are really interested, like myself, I have averaged around 20 miles per gallon during those 60,000 miles, which is a very respectable figure in my opinion. So I have a lot to owe to this car. Of course, during 3 years, there's a lot of time to own a car, and I've had the pleasure of experiencing so many different things, such as my YouTube channel. This kind of kick-started my YouTube channel and kind of brought it back to life. I did a few car videos, but it was very hit and miss, and they were very segregated in different times. I didn't really commit to the channel. I just thought I'd make a video here and there. But when I got this really did kickstart my channel, and it was kind of the following that I gained was Mercedes C63. People were tuning into the channel, and I made a lot of content on this car. And in fact, we're literally about to drive past the place where basically my YouTube really started, this little corner here. I always used to film there to do all my videos, whether it was just talking or walk around and everything. I used to always film there, so it's quite nostalgic to bring this car back, because I know the first video I filmed was in that corner itself. So yeah, I have a lot to owe to this car, and obviously it's been nice to hit a milestone with this car as well, this gaining 1,000 subscribers. And it's nice to also have people comment on my videos about the car and have questions. And I've also had Instagram messages just talking about the car, having questions. It's just really nice to have that following and people to engage with you. And I don't have anything else to owe other than to this car. But of course, with a car, you also have the experience of driving it and going to places. So I've had many trips of it that I've been very fond of, such as going to the shop, or I don't know, going to the dentist. You've got to take the car. I've had many lovely experiences of people who have been in this car, and I've made great memories of that. Taking people for passenger rides, their reaction to the speed and the noise, which is always a fun experience to see how they react to it. And then this has also been a workhorse. I've had to use this for work for quite a lot, and they love it too. And just the joy of going to work and being excited to go to work, which I never really am, but because I get to drive this, it makes the whole experience completely different. And then all you do is think about going home from work and think about the drive back from work, which is always a nice feeling as well. And I've also done many road trips as well. I've been on holiday to Devon and Cornwall, where the car was faultless and seamless. I've been to the Peak District for a nice spirited drive. I've been to the Brecon Beacons and North Wales. I've done so many lovely drives, and there's one in particular which you will see soon on the channel, which is going to be a nice send-off for this car. So that will go live after this video, but that video really is like a big send-off for this car, and it's a video I've always wanted to do ever since really owning this. So it's going to be a very fitting send-off for the C63. So be sure to not unsubscribe yet if you're a C63 owner, because you don't want to miss the next video I've got planned, filmed for this. But the most important trip I've ever done in this car was last weekend. And if you aren't familiar, if you ever watched my videos, you might know, but if you aren't, I have two rabbits. They're called Ronnie and Rupert. They are nearly 2 years old, and they are like my sons to me, and I love them very much. And unfortunately, Ronnie became quite ill last weekend, and I just came home from a day out. And I came home, and normally I go to feed them, and they get very excited over the nuggets, and they go absolutely crazy. And that's their reaction. But unfortunately, Ronnie didn't move a muscle, which is very unlike both of them. But Ronnie didn't move, and that means he was unwell. And when rabbits are unwell, it's normally something bad. Sorry, I'm chewing your ear off about rabbit anatomy, because I'm very fascinated by them. But yes, Ronnie was not going to eat, and it's just normally bad because it means something's wrong with their digestive system, and that means it could be quite fatal quite quickly. So basically what I had to do was get him some emergency critical care food to see if he'll eat that, and I didn't know how to do that because you have to syringe feed him. So I had to get a family member to come over to help, because he knew how to syringe feed and I didn't, so he got him to feed, and then he went home. Then Ronnie, I monitored him for the next hour or so, and there was no progress. So yes, I had to go to an emergency vet at like midnight to get Ronnie over. But that means it involves a car, and that's where it's really important. You need a car you can depend on, and which will get you from so and so. I know it sounds very simple, but this car did one of those trips, and with rabbits they deteriorate very quickly, and when they don't eat, it really does mess them up and can basically kill them very quickly. So it was very futile that this car was reliable and got me to that destination to make sure Ronnie was basically looked after and cared for by a vet. And now I can please report that Ronnie is completely full of life again, and I only have this car to thank because it got me to my destination and gotten the care that he needed. And it's things like that that you take granted for, that you don't realise that these memories happen because you've got these four wheels to rely on and to get you to these destinations for whatever reason you need to be there. And it's things like that which kind of make you more glued to the car and make you gel with it and make you more reluctant to want to get rid of it, because it's things like that that's going to remind me that it's more than just a car. It's a friend, it's a tool, it's everything. It's everything for you, and that's why it's going to be sad another reason why it's going to be sad to let this go. In terms of reliability, well, this car hasn't really had much gone wrong with it. I've had a couple of teething issues, such as a faulty throttle pedal sensor. It made the car go to limp mode, and limp mode is absolutely awful in this. So that was one of the things I had to get fixed. I also had my aircon, I think it was the fan was sticking on at all times, whether it was hot and cold. So I had to get that replaced. There's a sensor as well, unfortunately. Let's overtake this cyclist. So I had to get that replaced as well. And there was also a bit of a jolty misfire, and idle was quite harsh, and I think one of the plugs had to be replaced. So that's another thing that had to be done. But other than that, this car's been pretty seamless throughout my ownership. I've had to do general maintenance like the gearbox service and other services and get some new tyres. But if you'd have told me before I owned this car that I would be not having many issues with a full-blown AMG car, I wouldn't have believed you. I cannot believe how trusty and reliable this car has been. And just owning the car in its own right is just an amazing experience. Like walking up to the car and seeing the beauty it beholds, and then you get into the car and you start up the absolutely absurd cold start it's so loud, and that is a lovely experience, apart from my neighbours who have to experience it in the morning. Pigeons. And then you go out and drive it unnecessarily. That's one of the things that this car makes you do. It takes you unnecessary places. It makes you want to go out. Like I said many times, I go out to the shop to get some milk, and I come home to find I've already got a surplus of milk. But it makes you want to make these unnecessary journeys, because that's the way the car makes you feel. It just wants to constantly make you grab the keys and take trips to anywhere. And it generally is a car that turns heads and gets attention, whether that's something you like or you don't. It does get attention. It's a very elegant looking car, and in the petrol station I'd often go and fill up and then I'd turn it on and you get that initial bark. Everyone looks, people talk to you about the car and want to know about it, and every time you drive it, whether you're driving it slowly or fast, people are always looking to see. They turn their heads like owls. They want to see what that car is. It's a very, very head-turning car, and that makes me feel good. And there's also something else which I've noticed, but it's a generally well-respected car across the car community. I've never heard this car being spoken about in a bad manner. Like, there are some cars which have a following which are good, but there's also topics alluding to those cars which people slate them for and have bad things to say about them too. But I've never really heard anyone talk about the C63 in a bad manner or in a bad way. It's just a genuinely well-respected car across the car community, and you kind of just get a nod from car enthusiasts saying, you've done well, that is a brilliant car to own. And it's just a nice feeling to know that people appreciate this car and that you are driving it. And then not only do you have the power, but you also have the noise department, which is obviously, the noise of this car is amazing when it's at full chat, but it's one of these cars you don't have to drive ridiculously fast to enjoy the sound at all times. Such as right now, I'm just cruising along and you can hear a nice subtle V8 rumble in the background. Or if you just have a slight acceleration like this, it just sounds absolutely fantastic. And you don't have to, that's the thing about this car. With some cars, you really have to like ring it out to get the best of its noise, whereas this, you can drive it in town and just have a very slight, let's say for example 1200 RPM right now, you have a really deep bassy growl in the background, and you're just listening to that in town is amazing. Or if you want to gently build the revs like now, we're up to about nearly 2000 RPM. It still sounds astonishing, and you can build that all the way up to 7,000, but you have to do it in a very harsh way. You can do it in a slow, methodical way and enjoy the noise at a slow pace, and that is something I just love doing with this car. Obviously I love driving it fast and hearing the sensation of getting through the gears really fast, but this car can just sound good at any RPM at any time and driven in any manner, and you can still extract and enjoy the noise in any given way, and that is just something quite rare. I'm going to do this right now. Right there, I was at like a quarter throttle, and it was quite a slow build up. It wasn't necessarily quick, but you could still hear the beauty of the sound, and you didn't have to like completely wring its neck to get that experience. Of course, another thing, the reason why I bought this car, I was actually looking at something else, but I didn't realise the value for money these C63s hold. And when I found that these were the price they were, I saw this particular example, which is a performance package at £24,000 at around 33k miles. And I couldn't believe the tremendous value it held, and it was the spec that sold it to me. It had to be palladium silver. It definitely had to have the black and red leather combination, which is quite rare in a C63. It's normally black. In general, it's normally black, and you get cream as well. But to have two-tone leather is rare, and to get it in the black and red combination is very remarkable, especially in the palladium silver paintwork, which really was the combination that I was looking for, because it really just suits and complements each other so well. And then there's also the black piano black trim you have on the door cards and the dash. I didn't want the silver. I think it just clashes, and I just think it complements the black and red combination. Looks good, as well as the seats. So that was another selling point to me. And it definitely had to have the 19-inch chrome multi-spoke alloys, which is what I was really looking for. And I don't like the ones with the black and the chrome lip. It had to be the chrome fascia. So that sold it to me even more. And then I found out it's a performance package as well, with the red brake calipers, the stronger brakes, the carbon lip spoiler, the Alcantara steering wheel, the extra 30 horsepower, the stronger SLS internals with the dark grey manifolds. I wasn't looking for that, but it just happened to be on this spec, and that just sold it to me. And I just can't believe the amount of car. Tell me a car you can get with this much, I don't know, just being such a good all-rounder and doing everything so well. Maybe not so much the handling department, but does everything else so brilliantly. Tell me a car that can do all of this at this sort of price point. I'd love to know in the comment section down below. It's just such a versatile car and can do so many things. I struggle to find a car which can replicate what this car can do, as well as induce all of that feeling this car gives you as well. Naturally, this car is going to need a replacement, which you'll see in the channel soon, because I've already bought it at a budget of £4,000. But I would like to know what you guys would have bought had you been in my shoes and you wanted to replace the C63. Obviously there's many options, but I'd really like to know what my viewers would sort of lean towards if they were given £4,000 and would like to replace this. I should also mention, if you are interested in this car to buy, because obviously I'm selling it, please leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram, which is Nathan_Manning. Obviously it's the same as my YouTube name. But yeah, I would genuinely love to see this go to a viewer of the channel and just be able to stay in contact with the owner. So yes, if you are interested in the car, please do let me know, because I'd love it to go to one of you guys. Well guys, I'm going to leave that there, but before you go, be sure to stay around for the next video, because that's going to be well and truly the biggest send-off for this car, and it's a video I've always wanted to do, and I think it's going to do this car justice for how amazing it's been to me. So yes, be sure to watch that. But other than that, I don't really have much more to say. I've chewed your ear off long enough. So, well, that's basically it. I'm not going to be making any more videos apart from this one and the next one. But here's one last pull with the C63. Oh, it's a bit snippy out here, but that was so worth it. I'm so thankful I've been able to experience this car, and thank you to everyone for the support with this car and on the channel and all the helpful comments I've had over the years. So yeah, I don't have much more to say other than thank you everyone so much, and bye for now from me and the C63.